There's a wave of changes that will impact cruises this year, from new cruise ships to enhanced onboard experiences, to new travel requirements and cruise line policies, as cruise travel continues to enjoy popularity with both new and experienced cruisers. It's crucial to be prepared for what's to come. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, whether you're new to cruising or you're an experienced cruiser, these are some things that you'll want to know because they are likely to impact your cruise in either a positive way or sometimes a negative way, depending on your perspective in the coming year. And I have to say, there was one thing that I really didn't expect that I think some people might even like, but I will share that with you a little bit later on in the video. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, cruise line private islands. Now, cruise line private islands are becoming more and more important for most of the major cruise lines. Now, in particular, this will impact cruises that are sailing in the Caribbean or the Bahamas, where more cruises are going to their own private islands rather than to some of the other potential ports in the Caribbean. Now, we do have a couple of new private islands or private exclusive resort style beaches that are highly anticipated, including Carnival Celebration Key, which is set to open in July 2025. And we also have Royal Caribbean's Paradise Beach Club in the Bahamas that is also set to open this summer. Now, in addition to the new private island destinations, we do have enhancements coming to a couple of other private islands. So we do have Half Moon Cay. This is a very popular, a little bit more of an unspoiled private island. I actually think it's quite beautiful there, but we are going to have a new dock there, and we are going to have a new part of that private island called Relaxaway Bay. And we also have Great Stirrup Cay, which is Norwegian Cruise Line's private island, and they are in the midst of building a dock now, and there should be some enhancements. I hope that we are going to hear that information soon. Now, I am curious, do you love private islands? Could you do without them? Let me know down in the comments below. Number two, increased costs. Now, we're just going to get this one right out of the way. I think many people have seen, when you're taking a look at the pricing, that overall, the prices of cruises have really increased, and you really want to try to book as early as possible, even for the following year, because not only is the pricing higher, but the availability is limited as well. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't still get a great deal. Honestly, they are still out there. However, if you do want to get onto one of those new cruise ships, or you just have a specific ship or itinerary that you really want, or a specific cabin that you really want, that is the time that you absolutely want to book early. Number three, some new cruise ships, and that includes a couple of mega ships, some of the biggest cruise ships that we have ever seen. But we do have a little bit of a surprise here, so I will tell you that in just a moment. But mega ships that are coming out, true game changers, are MSC World America. This is debuting April 2025 with just under 7,000 passengers. And of course, we have Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas, the sister ship to the 250,000 ton Icon of the Seas. Now, we don't only have those big mega cruise ships. We do have some more mid-size or large cruise ships. Now, this includes Virgin Voyage's newest cruise ship, the Brilliant Lady. That is coming out this year. But we also have something completely new, and this is that Celebrity Cruises has actually put it in order, so it's not coming out in 2025. But Celebrity Cruises is coming out with its own fleet of river cruise ships. Now, if you are interested in river cruising or even just in smaller ship cruising, please do let me know down below. Number four, faster internet speed. So anybody who says that cruising is always getting worse, this is proof that that is not true. It does just evolve. So in terms of the internet, it is finally faster. It is finally getting a little bit more affordable, as many cruise lines have now started to use Starlink or other connectivity solutions. Now, these days, the internet is not only faster, but it's also more stable, allowing cruisers to stream, to watch content, to video chat, and even work remotely. Number 5, an increased demand for solo cruise accommodations, and cruise lines have responded. Now, we do have Norwegian Cruise Line that admittedly has the most cabins for solo cruisers. Now, that includes their studio cabins. That was a very innovative program that they started a few years ago on some of their cruise ships. Now, these are cabins that are really made exclusively for solo cruisers. Even though they are windowless cabins, they are affordable options for people that are traveling alone. But since then, they have actually increased the choice for solo cruisers to include interior cabins, ocean view cabins, even balcony cabins, all at solo rates. And people that are sailing on those cruise ships with the exclusive studio lounge that have the opportunity for people to meet and mingle and have refreshments. Now, anybody sailing as a solo cruiser has access to this. But beyond NCL, we do have other cruise lines that are offering solo cabin accommodations. Now, this includes Holland America on some of their cruise ships. This includes Cunard. This includes Celebrity. Now, I do think that we need more solutions for solo cruisers, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the new travel requirements, very important, as well as some new cruise line policies. Number 6, new travel authorizations. So if you are traveling to Europe, there are some new travel authorizations that are in effect now or will be coming into effect a little bit later this year. So firstly, if you are going to be flying into the UK, you will need a UK ETA, and this is applicable now. Now, here's some basic information about the ETA. So firstly, you want to make sure that you go to the correct website for the ETA. I will leave it linked down below in the description box because there are some scam websites, so you want to really watch out for that. Now, when it comes to the ETA, it really doesn't cost very much. It's only £10. Everybody needs to apply for this, so this includes children and this includes babies. And according to the website, it takes approximately 3 days to be able to get your ETA. However, do not leave this to the last minute. Make sure that if you are flying to be cruising from the UK that you do this in advance. Now, in addition to the ETA, you may have heard that there is also the ETIAS, or some people say ETIAS. That is not in effect yet, but that will affect people that are going on cruises, for instance, that are leaving from Barcelona or from Rome or from Greece. And you just want to really keep an eye on any of the new travel documentation requirements that are in effect this year or next. Number 7, new banned or prohibited items. So cruise lines continue to refine their list of prohibited items on a cruise, and they have made some recent changes. Now, that includes routers for internet. So cruise lines, I think across the board now, but you can check on your cruise line website. You're always going to find the current list for your own cruise line, but any internet routers or any mini Starlinks, these are all banned on cruise ships. Now, in addition, we had Carnival that recently banned Bluetooth speakers, and we had Royal Caribbean that banned even non-surge protected power strips. Now, I do have a video about the most recent banned items, so I'll leave that at the end of this video in case you do want to check that out. But it is a good rule of thumb at any time of year to always check your cruise line website for the most recent changes. Number 8, more upcharges. Now, we've had specialty dining. We've had different experiences that you could pay for on cruises for a long time, but we are now having more specialty dining experiences at higher prices and some even special dining experiences as people are more interested in those culinary offerings. Beyond that, of course, we have other types of activities that are available on some cruise ships at an additional charge. Now, cruise drink packages and bundles continue to be popular, and we've also seen some increases in pricing on those packages over the last few months, as well as some increases in service charges or gratuities. And every year we do see some small increases, so it is something to look out for on your own cruise bookings. Now, I do have a little money-saving cruise tip. If you prepay your service charges or your gratuities, if that does increase between the time that you booked your cruise and the time that you go on your cruise. If you've prepaid those service charges, then you do not pay anything extra. Number 9, cruise port pushback. Now, as cruising is popular and as more people do want a vacation by cruise ship, we are seeing some destinations, some cruise ports giving a little bit of a pushback and saying we don't want that many cruise passengers coming in on a given day. Now, this might mean that they are limiting the amount of cruise ships that are coming in on a given day, or maybe they're limiting the amount of cruise passengers that come in on a given day. Now, this is happening at some ports in the United States, namely in Alaska, but even we've seen this recently in Key West. We've seen this in some cruise ports in Maine, but we're seeing this in Europe as well, where in some cases tourists and cruise tourists in particular are seemingly not wanted. New tax or fee for cruisers that are visiting Mexico. Now, Mexico introduced a $42 tax for anybody traveling to Mexico early in the year. However, they have delayed that for cruisers until July, if I'm not mistaken. However, time will tell if that is going to be implemented, but that is something that all cruise passengers should be aware of because it can increase the price of our cruise fare. Greener cruising. Now, this is definitely a change from even a few years ago, where cruise lines are now investing into green technologies, alternative fuels, and shoreside power to manage their environmental impact. In fact, we're seeing MSC World America and Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas that are going to be fueling their ships with LNG, which is a cleaner type of fuel that does reduce the environmental impact. Now, by the way, if you'd like to read this or have it as a resource, I am going to leave the article linked down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. But I'd love to hear from you. What do you think some of the good and bad changes are for cruising this year? What are your favorites or your least favorites? Let me know down in the comments. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.